Love Thing London. It is the special emergency Valen-Times episode with a very special guest. He goes by the name of Murkage Dave.
Whoop, whoop.
My name is DJ Swerve. My partner in crime.
That's me. It's Joel. I'm here.
Yes. We are on a stage of high alert.
Yeah.
Valen-Times. Yes, there is an M in there. Valen-Times is coming. And who better to help you save this situation than Murkage Dave?
Woo.
I'm here.
And Dave, you actually saved us because we could have easily have missed Valen-Times, and you WhatsApped me out of the blue.
Yes.
At a very, very opportune time. I picked it up first thing in the morning. And what did you say to me? Can you remember?
Well, we'd been talking about it from prior, right?
Yes.
And then I don't know, I just felt like Valen-Times
Thank you, Dave. Stay on brand.
was the right time
It's a great time.
to pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I can't believe you guys weren't going to do, like, your Love Thing London.
Well, apparently Swerve has a thing about branded or like gimmicky shows.
You've remembered,
I remembered.
Joel.
I remembered. I like.
Yeah.
I know what he likes, and it ain't like a theme show.
Right,
Not at this
right.
point. So this is the first one we've kind of done. So privilege for being here.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
So maybe we can just keep this going. Like, maybe I'll come back Easter.
Yeah.
Do like,
Oh, I see.
like come back with
Different
like
themes.
the He Is Risen mixtape.
Can we do a gospel
or
one on
something.
Easter?
Yeah. Just drop. Just
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we need to get you on the branding team. This is amazing
Ideas, son.
already. If you are not familiar with Murkage Dave, you are kind of forgiven, I guess. But you need to get on that. You need to search for Murkage Dave. As soon as you've listened, we are going to be playing his brand new single, Get the Girl, Save the World, during the show. It's incredibly appropriate. And I did say to Dave, and I wouldn't have said this because you know I like to keep it straight and honest and wholesome. I actually rewound that 3 times on the way in. I was getting the Lizzie line from Woolwich today, and it was very appropriate. I really enjoyed it the first listen. We'll get into that and we'll talk about it later, but we are tearing up the playlist to insert that, and then we're going to sellotape it all back together. So it's going to be, this episode's going to be great. It is going to be around love and Valentine's. So this is what it's all going to be based around. So we are going to kick things off with some music. Joel, please chime in with any suggestions that you would like to throw in.
Cool.
We're going to start with the first couple. I asked Dave to pick a song that reminds him of a past love. We are going straight into the feels. It's Valen-Times. Dave, talk to us about your selection.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you asked me this, it was between 2 picks, because like I was gonna maybe go with "Always Be My Baby," Mariah Carey, because this girl that I used to sit next to in English loved that tune. I didn't even know what it was,
Right.
and I went and bought it on CD because she liked it. I was just like in the friend zone.
Love a
I
man.
think I was like,
hard
I can't remember
friend
how old I
zone.
was. Yeah, but I was like, I just went and bought it. So that was gonna be it, but then I thought, nah, man, let me go to the source. So this is a slightly different past love, because I don't even think this woman knows who I am.
This is probably the best way of doing
Just
this.
getting
To be fair,
into, are we going into stalker category
Like
already?
like
Dave?
stinging the police.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'll be
He's
watching
not
you.
saying like restraining, this is not restraining order. Is it already binoculars in the head?
No, man, no.
No, okay.
It's actually, I've picked Jill Scott because it is Jill Scott. And I remember when that first album came out, Words and Sounds, it's Volume 1, Words and Sounds Volume 1, that's what it's called, right? And I was just a massive fan.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like, I wouldn't say when I was listening to the music that I fancied her. But then I remember going to like see her play at like a tiny space in Bristol. I think my cousin was at uni there. I don't know why I was there, but like, and I just remember being on the front row
Yeah.
at the show, and just falling in love.
Smitten.
Like
Yeah, man.
just fell in love.
Yeah.
Like just like on the front row, like arms over the
Wow.
the what's it called, the railings, just like that, like up, like oh my god. And that was it. That was it for me. That was that's why I kind of thought that is a past love that I probably haven't really dealt with
since.
You know, and so that's why.
Artist crush. Yes.
Yeah, I want to go.
I've been
go
a
with
few of
that.
those. I've had a few of those. Have you had an artist crush, Joel?
I would say around the same time I was probably feeling Jill Scott as well.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah. Literally around the same time, Jill Scott or Faith Evans, or that was my
You know,
thing.
one of my first crushes was I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston. Like the video, I don't know. There was just something about that video in terms of R&B. I mean, hip hop side, veering off very slightly. Salt and Pepper Push It video was just my first introduction to
Sexy rap.
lycra.
The lycra, to the material.
So the lycra fit and the
Yeah,
baggy. Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah.
So we have Jill Scott the Way. I changed what I was going to pick as well because I had a couple of choices. I had one where a Sirius X. I found the 12 actually the other day. It was that she got it for me for like my 21st birthday, and she wrote on the hype sticker. But I went with this one because this was a crushing relationship, very intense. It only lasted a few weeks. I was completely smitten. She kind of had this aura, you know, talking about Jill Scott's aura. She had an aura of mermaids. Do you remember? Was it mermaids that used to attract the sailing ships?
Yep.
Into the rocks.
Oh, so you were like
Like a siren.
drawn to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a
Madness.
siren or mermaids?
It's
Is it-
like there's different names
Oh,
for
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing.
I'm getting my
Same kind of
mythology
myth.
boggled, but yeah. So she was like, I think she had that effect on guys, and I was caught in the headlights. Use another allegory. And yeah, she liked this song, and I can't remember why. She may have even, I don't even know now. See, I'm losing it again. Lauryn Hill, Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Her cover is an absolute banger. So let's get into Jill Scott, The Way. Straight after that, Lauryn Hill, Can't Take My Eyes Off You. I'm going to ask Joel later for a Ready for a Date banger. And we're going to play some of those. We may even play all three because I reckon there's going to be some good ones on that. It's Love Thing London, Swerve, Murkage Dave, Joel, Valen-Times. It's the emergency episode.
And we're back. And that was Jill Scott, The Way, and
Lauryn Hill,
Lauryn Hill.
Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Joel,
Big
you had
tunes,
some
big
thoughts
tunes.
about Jill Scott The Way.
Yeah, Jill Scott The Way. There's a really good version, and I used to roll around with this live version, and from Dave Chappelle's Block Party, and it's more of a rocked up, kind of funked up version, really grand opening, and it builds and builds. Yeah, it's really, I like it. It's really good, but it's completely different to the original. It's not the breakup or heartache song. It's more kind of like, live performance.
a heavier.
Heavier version.
That reminds me a bit of going to see. I remember when I lived in Manchester, I went to see Music Soul Child play a couple times.
Sick.
And he was very heavy live. Like, I feel like there was a thing with the neo soul stuff. It was, but I guess at the time it was kind of maybe a bit surprising to people that were coming off listening to the studio versions and then seeing him go quite heavy live.
Right.
But I guess like once you start looking at like the root of it, it does make a lot of sense once you start getting back to. I think like, you know, once I started kind of like going back, like before the music that was before us, do you know what I mean? When you start getting back to even like, say like the late 60s, 70s, rock and roll and like soul music is kind of like the same.
Yeah,
Like they're doing the same drugs.
So like Ike and Tina were the warm-up act for Alice Cooper.
Oh wow,
So
yeah,
they were
yeah.
all, All these
Wow,
all these bands were on the same stages. You know, like all the soul singers were on the same stages as the rock.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it was very similar.
And a lot comes from blues, right? If you follow it.
Yeah.
Well, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you listen to like, I don't know, like Sly and the Family Stone or whatever, it's kind of in that space. But then you listen to like, I can't even think of the name. A lot of those white groups that were like, what's that guy that I can't remember his name now? My brain's gone. He used to hang out with the Beatles. they use that record a lot in films. I'm gonna come back.
Yeah. No, we'll do
but
that.
like there's the groove and the feel was actually very similar. So I guess it makes sense that a lot of the neo cats would be on that wave because I guess the stuff that they were listening to. You know, if you speak to like Quest, you know, you listen to like Questlove's, you know.
I want to get a good friend of mine, Howard Francis, in on one of these podcasts. Now, I met him. He's a musical director for acts when they go on the road.
Right.
So a lot of times, if you see, at the moment, he's been working with Misha Paris doing live stuff. He was with Patrice Rushen. But I met him doing Mystique, funny enough, when I was their DJ. Right. And I really want to get him in, and we can talk about things like this because they come from the gospel side of things. A lot of the players are gospel, and that is incredibly competitive and highly skilled. And I can imagine a lot of the people that we're seeing on those live bands, they are going to be coming a lot from that pool, and they have just got the most incredible skills and inspirations, you know, when it comes to doing those live shows. One thing, I'll be remiss not to mention Jill Scott, and when she went viral a few years ago with the microphone incident. Lucky we weren't much. You look...
I'm looking puzzled because I'm not sure if I remember this. No.
Oh,
maybe I ignored the Jill Scott. Hey,
I'll take some time, man.
Is this gonna hurt me?
No, I would just, you know, like it's an enjoyable experience.
Oh right, okay.
So like, just take some time with it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, that's a very good way of putting it.
I mean, even back then, right, Jill Scott, I didn't think about it, but the way that she talks about like love, relationships, sex, it was so sensual, and like even like, you know, if she was hurt, it would be like, I don't know, like she felt on a heavy level, even like, you know, like getting in the way where she's talking to the woman, like, you're trying to take my man, I'm going to rush you. Yeah. Like, it's like everything was like heavy feeling. Yeah. I guess at that age, I didn't know about that level of sensuality yet, but she was kind of like plugging me into it.
Like this is how it goes. I feel exactly the same. It was like an eye-opener. It's like, I don't know what this feels like. Yeah. But I'm sure when I get there, these songs are going to do me well. They've laid the groundwork.
Sure. And when you watch that video of when she went viral recently, you're going
to
get that feeling all over again, bro.
Yeah. Right, Dave, moving on from that, but not unrelated. Getting ready for a date banger is the next thing I have asked you for, Dave.
Yes.
What have you selected? Getting ready for a date. How do you get ready for a date?
Well, it's like it's a feeling, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And I like to put on music when I'm getting ready to go out. In general, I like to put on music that kind of gives me the feeling for just how I want to, you know, kind of prepares you for, you know, where you're stepping to, because then you kind of end up maybe the goms, the fit gets kind of like influenced by the rhythm, you know, and the way that you step is influenced by the lyrics, you know. I don't know. I mean, I have a really close relationship with my subconscious, so that is like, for me, that's how it kind of works. But
so a song you're listening to could well affect what you're going to wear when you go out. That's interesting.
And how you feel.
There's a lot of people, they used to say, oh, I start with the shoes, and then they match everything around their shoes or something. But you go deeper and you'll go music, mood, and then go from there. I like that.
I guess when people say they're pre-drinking, and I don't know, I don't even know if that is the wave, but like, you know, that was always the like pre-drinking. But what is that really? You're just trying to like take the edge off so that when you go out, I mean, it's cheaper as well, but
I don't really like that. I don't really subscribe to pre-drinks. Maybe white one, or maybe an espresso martini.
You're a latte kind of
latte,
guy.
Yeah.
Even if you, I didn't know you drank actually.
Not on occasion. It's been known, but not really.
Heavy. Not as much as me.
You really drink a lot, Giles. See, I've only ever seen you with a coffee, mate. Do you get absolutely wasted?
I don't get wasted, but I pretty much drink every day.
I seen Joe kind of
wait.
Yeah. Oh no. Dave's seen me in some shaky states.
Yeah,
for sure.
But we both, you know.
But we were out
in
there
the trenches.
Yeah, we were in the trenches, man.
Yeah, no.
Like, till
Dave
like
was saying
6
about
in the morning
visions
and stuff. Speaking of which, what you were talking about going out.
Yeah.
Giano, big up Giano.
Yep.
Very good friend of mine and Dave's.
Yeah.
Said that, you have to set the tone before you leave the house.
Mm-mm.
You have to set the levels. And putting that song on, singing in the shower, whatever it is you're doing, you're setting the levels. Like it's like affirming.
Yeah.
And it sets you up to walk out into the cold and then go wherever you need to go and then walk into a packed club like
Exactly.
full of people. So these are all like anxiety inducing kind of situations.
true.
They can be
Yeah.
for people.
No, that's
so
very true.
doing that silly dance around the house in your boxers takes the edge off that. That's
Loosens
the
you
way I
up,
feel.
man.
That's the
Yeah,
way I
yeah,
feel.
yeah.
So, Dave, what we going with?
I've gone with Maxwell, Get
Big,
to
big,
Know
big.
Ya, which is the first song off his second album, the Now album, right? If I remember.
I think so, yeah.
And it's just the swag of it. I feel like the way that it opens, it's such a long intro.
That guitar intro.
Bruv, it's such a long intro, and then like when he comes in, he just so much space in the phrasing,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a seductive record. But
Yeah.
he's kind of coming on some. I feel like there was an era, like I guess like late 90s, early noughties, where a lot of the R&B cats, and I guess like Maxwell was a bit. I guess he was. I class him more as like soul, but like he was a bit. There was a solo R&B. There was a bit of this kind of like what we might have traditionally called like the Omega vibe, which was interesting to me. Which I wouldn't necessarily step with myself, but I feel like within the context of this song, he's like, well, like you probably don't even need me. Like he's saying to the girl, I know you don't need me, but but like let's try and get to know each other. It's like he's coming on such a wave.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like ahead of the curve in some respects.
Sneak round a lot of defensive strategies.
Oh, mate,
That's a good one.
Some of these cats back in the day, man, they were full of shit, though.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Like Joe.
Joe, so many songs, all the things your man was
Yeah,
doing,
bro.
Things like that.
They were coming in stealth. It's like a stealth.
Yeah,
bomber.
man.
They were coming
Dirty
in.
macking, some heavy dirty macking going on, man. I don't know about it, but it sounded good, though.
It sounded good when we were adolescents.
It sounded good.
I'm going completely different. I'm going Johnny Kemp, Just Got Paid.
Come on.
Okay.
I'm doing probably Running Man in my socks.
Right.
I'm getting the energy up because what is better than a Friday night when you've just got paid? If you ask me what my favourite night of the week is, it's Friday. Reason being, you have the optimism of you have a full day after and you have another evening. And then you've got Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday night, you've just got Saturday. And then I always start thinking Sunday. And then I'm always thinking possibly about Monday. Maybe I should be more present. But Friday always has that optimism.
Yeah.
It's always been my favourite.
Yeah,
When
isn't it?
I was working full time, it was,
If I want to do a club night, like when we get to do our dream party late night, I reckon it's a Friday.
Friday night.
It's Friday night. We just got
Suit
paid.
me.
So let's get into those two. Did you have one you wanted to throw in there, John?
I've
What
got
do you
one.
get ready to? Go on.
I've got one, and I'm not sure whether we played it on the show before.
Okay.
So we might have to cut this.
But okay, that's fine.
It is John B. Don't Talk.
Oh!
That is my...
Come on.
that is
I
my
like it.
jam. And like...
That's almost, you know what? That's nicely in between, I feel,
Yeah.
in energy.
Because the R&B singer singing
Yeah.
kind of a
Yeah,
soul
yeah.
song. A
That's
disco
such,
song.
that's such a staple record.
Yeah, it's so nice. And like it goes on forever as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
What I
yeah.
really liked about that era of music that we're talking about is listening to D'Angelo or Jill Scott or Erykah Badu. The songs were over 4 minutes long. There were breaks, there were breakdowns, there were piano solos. Might be a guitar solo or something like this. There were mad ad libs on Don't Talk. John B's ad libbing for like 2 minutes at the end of the record. There's no chorus verse. It doesn't go back to that again. It's just all kinds of like little Michael Jackson-y
I remember lots
ad-libs,
of
and that's it.
ooh and yes.
Yeah,
There's a lot of those. He does this really fun dance break in the video as well. doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, but
The
I
video's
feel,
sick as well.
Yeah.
Like it's proper, early 2000s classy kind of,
Yeah.
R&B stuff.
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
Did I say I did the most awkward? I might have shared this already. I'll do it again anyway. I don't care.
Go on.
So John B came in when I was doing the radio show. And it was around the time where the handshake hug came into fashion.
Okay.
So where you go in and obviously you slip the palm,
Lock.
you've
Yeah.
got the thumbs lock,
Yeah.
then you bring it in
Yeah.
for a bit of a hug.
And then
Yeah.
I got that so wrong with John B.
Can you imagine?
It was like the equivalent of when you go to spud someone and they try and high five you. It was like one of those.
One of
And
them awkward
it was just a fumble. It was almost like I was trying to arm wrestle him, take his jacket off, just as he stepped in. But yeah.
So it was your fault, not his.
Oh yeah, it's totally. Oh yeah, of course. Look, John B would have known that. He would be proficient in that kind of greeting.
Yeah.
I was just like,
How did you
I
open
should have
up?
practiced it at home.
How did you open?
What do you mean?
Like when you did the hat with
No,
what went wrong?
no,
Was it
no,
the handshake?
well, okay, so I went in.
Yeah.
I went in, but I think what it was, I think it was the wrist position.
So
I think I was down for the handshake.
Oh, so you kind of went
I
like
presented as if it was a handshake.
like the Queen,
And
or
then,
something.
yeah.
I know the Queen's dead, but
The
the
king.
King.
Royalty.
And
Queen
And
is
it
dead.
should have been
Up.
up.
for the
It was
slap.
down, and then he went in for a handshake, right? Which any normal person, when presented with that, would think that's probably
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it is. And then I've tried to flick it into something else.
But I think it's also the position because you're coming straight on.
Yeah.
Whereas you got to be like that, right? You
Yeah,
got to be
of course, Dave.
for the listeners. You got to be
Yeah, we need one of
not
these
horizontal,
Sky.
but
do you know what we
what's
need?
it?
You need to be like
Perpendicular
Jamie
to the
Carragher
square.
with the board up,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the video, and we can then do the circles and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Be like, this is where he went wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you put the arrow on
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
area of attack.
What you got to do is come in.
Yeah, it's a mess.
We need diagrams up here.
Yeah,
Because the clasp needs to be like, you can't be pointing at the person. You have to be kind of uniting
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
clasp.
it wasn't. I didn't go for the clasp. It was the shake, grip, full grip.
And then you try to pull him. That's
That's
crazy.
I tried to
You did a
pull the
straight handshake,
in.
and then you try to pull him
Pull him
into a
in.
A
hug.
bit like when Trump did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Trump would always try and do that. So it's like he would
Handshake.
hold, and then he would just try and pull the person towards him.
Kanye's
yeah.
dream.
And John was just like, John B was just like, yo. He was all right, but he just thought that's a bit
Yeah.
weird. I think the interview went okay, but I
Okay.
can't remember anything apart from that being horrendous.
In my head, was he wearing like a fur jacket as well? Like that.
I can't remember.
That would have looked crazy.
Peak
You know what?
John B
Another one of my-
times.
And another one of my disappointments is I didn't take a photograph with everyone that I interviewed. I remember my mindset because back then people started doing it when they were having them, and I thought to myself, you are posing for a photo with an artist like a fan. Right, which obviously we are, but we are meeting in a work basis.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having a meeting with someone at a record label and go, yeah, can I have a picture?
Yeah, so you didn't want to kind of position
Yeah,
yourself like.
I just wanted it to be,
Right,
look,
right,
you know,
right.
it's just cool. We appreciate each other
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
similar
we're on a
level.
level,
And I
yeah.
think maybe that's, I don't know what that is, but I've lost out on quite a few killer selfies. And I could have answered whether John B was wearing a fur jacket or not.
Oh,
Let's just say he was.
Yeah, let's say it was.
What would you like him to have worn, Dave?
Yeah, I think like fur jacket, like really like XL oversized jeans,
Yeah.
some kind of Timbs or boots.
Yeah. Untied.
Maybe just a bandana for no reason.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, let's just say he did that.
Yeah, or
That's
like
exactly
a
what it
flat
was.
cap. I mean,
A
like
flat cap,
a
like a
Kangol.
granddad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
mesh one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah,
That's
they
ve-
breathe well in the club.
Yeah.
Let's bring them back.
Breathe well in the club.
Look, trust me and Dave know about that. When
yeah,
you wear
yeah, I
hats,
do,
you
yeah.
have to breathe well in the club.
This is
Otherwise,
true.
it just gets incredibly uncomfortable. I can't wear baseball caps in clubs and I'm DJing because I fling my headphones back and it knocks the peak.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
is literally peak and
Yeah,
everything goes. My cap
Yeah,
goes.
that's crazy.
Yeah, Dave, we are now going to insert. No, we got to play these tunes, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have we played them?
No,
I'm confused.
no, we haven't.
We are going to play those tunes, including Joel's amazing one that's going to go in the middle, John B. That's why we were talking about John B.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Dave's new single,
Yeah.
which is amazing. We're going to do that after this. But let's get into these three. We're breaking the rules on this one, on this episode today, but it is the emergency Valen-Times episode with Murkage Dave, so we can just do what we want. Emergency Valen-Times ep with Murkage Dave. It's myself, Swerve.
And me, Joel.
Joel is scrolling on that phone. He's always picking up last minute details just to bring in. I love it. Dave, we need to talk about your single.
Yes.
I wasn't planning to, but I think it fits so well. And I really, as I said to you, and I don't throw loose compliments around because I just think most people can see the way through them. But this, I think, is my favourite track of yours.
Thank you very much.
Get the Girl, Save the World. Let's just talk about it. We talked about it before because we had a delicious latte.
That was a
Before.
great latte, mate.
What, in the cafe?
Yes.
Yeah. They're really good.
We'd
really
met
good,
before.
I don't even drink lattes.
Yeah.
You've been converted.
Well, there is a story.
Yeah,
There is a brief story.
Oh, what happened?
We knew each other before this, didn't we?
Yeah,
Dave?
yeah.
Okay.
But there was a Rhythm Commission show we were doing. That's
Berlin.
myself and Marco in Berlin
Yeah.
at Yam.
Yep.
I know Yam,
Which
yeah.
is actually in or around the old Berlin Wall.
Yep.
And it was the morning of the show, I believe, and Dave was on a trestle table with some friends.
Well, I was playing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was because it was Homie Lover Friend Festival,
Right, yeah.
and I was playing with I think it was Murkage Cartel or something like that
Yeah.
back in the day, and then go on. Sorry, I cut you.
No. Thanks. We need that context. And I just remember walking over and they all had coffees. So for some reason, I just said to Dave, bigging up the latte massive.
And it just became that's our thing.
That did
Yeah,
crease you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, latte gang.
Joel's kind of looking at us like this is not. It's
Yeah,
not really
it's
hitting.
definitely one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those stories.
It's a tall joke.
It's one of those had to
He's
be
just
there.
like, nah, this is not funny.
Yeah,
It's not.
and he's a bit jealous. He's jealous he wasn't in Berlin because what a time.
What a wild time.
What a time.
What a wild
Me
time.
and Joel know about some
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
All right,
We've
it's
had
not
some
pop,
times
I
in
can
Berlin.
But
imagine.
statute of
Visions.
limitations.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that. I know. Trust. So let's talk about this single, Dave.
Yes.
Inspiration behind it.
Well, it's continuing on. Obviously, my album that is out right now,
Called?
is "The City Needs a Hero."
Excellent.
So it is a continuation of that theme, but is also a part of on Valentine's Day, which I guess this is Valentine's Day right now, is it not?
Valen-Times.
Valen-Times. On Valentine's Day. Well, actually, I'm talking about it like it's in the future. Oh, fuck this up. haven't I?
No. It's fine.
Right. I have a Valentine's compilation called "I Don't Do Love Songs," which is another song taken from "The City Needs a Hero," and it is the compilation is a selection of love songs from my first album, from my second album, and some things that have never been heard before. So it's kind of like a greatest hit.
Is this a surprise
cool.
drop?
It's a bit of a flex. I've been talking about it a bit. I've been kind of hinting, little hints here and
It's
there.
a teaser.
And I did 50 cassettes that come in a tin, like a decorated tin.
Oh, nice.
And those have all sold out. People have bought them for their booze,
Come on.
or this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the kind of, I guess, like the single to kind of lead from this compilation is "Get the Girl, Save the World." And I think for me, it's kind of like, I think with this whole compilation, but I'll say specifically this song, it's a kind of like my way of, like my biggest influence, growing up is soul and R&B. That's what I kind of grew up listening to.
Yeah.
But as I touched on before, I think a lot of them not fucking lying, right? They always say, "Oh, baby, I miss
course.
you. I'm crying into my pillow."
Yeah.
It's like, KC, you're lying, bro.
Right.
Like you're lying.
lying,
You're not
bro.
crying into no pillow, bro.
It's-
You're a gallus, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like these men were like selling the dream to, and I think it's amazing, but I think I kind of like, for me, I'm not one of those people who can get away with. I don't think you have to tell the truth when you write music. It's art, but I feel like I'm one of those people who can't get away with lying. Like I can't.
Right.
If I make something up, it's just inauthentic and it just doesn't work. So I have to tell the truth and be myself in my music, and so it's kind of like with I Don't Do Love Songs as a Valentine's compilation and Get the Girl Save the World, it's kind of like me really actually tackling with the reality of relationship situations, like, you know, relationship goals on the internet versus actually what dealing with a person is like when, you know, everybody's weird. Once you get to know someone, we're all weird, and you have to deal with the weirdness, my weirdness and the other person's weirdness in the relationship, and also like kind of like the idea of gender roles, and like a lot of it's just nonsense, but then some of it is entrenched, and you know, so these are the kind of things that I'm tackling. And also I guess like you know, we spoke a little before about, you know, like I had that line, you know, about the hair, you know, I saw, you know, your new man, he looked like me, but his hairline was better. Or
and
whatever.
he's cheesy.
Yeah, he's a bit
more
cheesy. But the rebound guy is always like that. The rebound guy always looks like you, but he's like not as cool. Yeah. But he might have a better hairline. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not hating. It's just how it is. But it's kind of like I like to kind of have those moments of, you can be sad about a situation, you could be angry about a situation, you could be frustrated, but there's always some humor there, I think, and there's always some hope. So that's kind of like the way I kind of came at it.
Structurally on that song, there's a bit where you just switch it up and your voice goes up, and I just thought, I think the first time I heard it, I was waiting for something to happen, and it did. And I think that's what made me come back to it, apart from the cheesy and the hairline bit that made me laugh pretty much every time I heard it.
So in the chorus, because I jump into the next octave.
I really like that part. So I was just, I'm just going to run that back. I'll run that back. So
Thank you, man.
Let's get into it. So Murkage Dave, Get the Girl, Save the World. Love Thing London, Swerve, Joel and Murkage Dave. You just heard Dave's new single, Get the Girl, Save the World. We are now making a mixtape for our respective loves.
Come on.
So the mixtape is, I believe, a lost art. It's basically an audio love letter to the person that you are seeking the attention of, the affections of, or currently with. So I asked Dave, what is the opening? What is going to be the opening tune for this mixtape, and why, Dave?
Can I just say, I was a big guy for tapes. I used to make girls' tapes all the time, man. And I had like, you know, like, because you had to tape from the CD or the other cassette to the blank tape.
Yeah.
But I had this thing on my thing where I could like microphone mode, but it was like a built-in.
Yo!
So I could be like, that one was...
What?
Blah, blah. I'd be like, that was Usher.
Dave.
And I'm just, you
Murkage
know,
Dave FM.
you remind me.
The city needs a hero, bro.
So what,
I was coming like that in between tracks.
Just talk over the music.
Yeah, not over, in between.
Instead.
So you can kind of like
I was
record
gonna say,
in.
It wasn't doing the dip.
It didn't sound great, but it was.
Yeah, that's genius.
There's some classics out there, then,
Bro.
Dave.
If I fancied you at that period and I made you a cassette, I may not be able to remember your name, but if you have one of those cassettes, I would love to hear them.
Yo.
If you're out there.
Yeah.
Wild. That's a proper appeal as well. We'll put that appeal out there. The OG tapes.
For OG tapes. OG
Yeah, man.
tapes.
I'd love to hear one of them. I don't know where any of them are. Sorry, I forgot the question.
Well, we're starting off the mixtape.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to go with... There was a lot of selections that, you know, because the opener, I think, has to be... I think, for me, if you make a tape for someone you like, you shouldn't go too slow straight away. It should be kind of like mid-tempo or like mid-tempo to slow. Because if you go too slow straight away, I think it's like, I don't know, for me personally, I like to kind of like ease them in to the slow.
I might have gone too slow with mine now, but it's okay.
Each to their own.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll listen to them, and then we'll have to decide. But I think that's a good point, Dave.
Generally, with a mixtape, I think, if you start off too slow, it's a bit boring. You need like somewhat of a punch to begin with, to
then
set people off and be like, all right, okay, we're off.
Yeah.
All right, Joel, I like it.
Yeah.
Statement of intent with your mixtape for Jen.
I'm not gonna actually, but my selection is incredibly slow. So like, I'm not sticking.
But it's packing
to
a punch though.
It's packing a punch. But I'll let Dave talk about.
But yeah,
so
there were so many I could have picked for this, but I've gone with Raphael Sadiq and D'Angelo. Be Here. I think that this album. I mean, I think Raphael Sadiq overall, like literally, I can't think of someone who's had so much influence on R&B music from I guess like the 80s until like now because I didn't really Tony Tone was not really my era, but obviously like I know that stuff, and then he did Lucy Pearl, his own stuff. He produced a load of stuff on that Solange record. He produced Cranes in the Sky, and then even recently I was watching like a Steve Lacy interview, and Steve Lacy was saying that he used to hang out at Raphael Sadiq's house, and like that was his OG. This guy has had so much impact, and I've missed out a bunch of stuff that he's done, but just as a rough overview, I think like, and just him with D'Angelo, I mean it's insane.
Oh, wow.
I
mean,
like,
you can't lose with that.
How can you get better than that? And it's a great record. I really like that album. The one he's like that on the cover. For those that
Instant Vintage.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Album.
It's a great album, and this is one of my favourite tracks of it.
Right, I've gone to 92 with Martin Giraud, and it's a cut called Revival. It just popped into my head while I was thinking of something. I did have some other ones, and then I thought, nah, this is, I would say, when you listen to it, do you know this one off the top or not? Because it's quite a deep, it wasn't the best known track.
This feels like something that I'll know by ear.
Right.
But not. I'm terrible with song names.
Yeah.
But I probably will know by ear.
This is definitely the epitome of smoky club vibes.
Come on.
And I don't know, I've got it on 12. We've got the version that's on a Japanese album from Martin Giraud. I just find her voice just mesmerising. Probably doing a similar effect to what Jill Scott, does on everyone, but particularly on you two early days. So imagine 92, younger Swerve was probably thinking the same thing with Martin Giraud. We're going to get into that as my choice. Joel, how are you starting your mixtape?
I would start with the tune Cody Chestnut, No One Will, off his album, his first album, the Headphone Masterpiece, and it's super chill, and it's just him and a like piano organ thing. And and it's low. The whole album is meant to be lo-fi recorded, and so it sounds like he just recorded it at home, which he probably did. But there's some silly lyrics in there, and it's a slow jam. It's a slow jam for the day.
Let's get into those three again, because these sound like fascinating choices. I can't wait to hear them. It's Love Thing London. Keep it where you got it. Look, we're going to get kicked out of here. Joel, have you got any words of wisdom for this episode?
Words of wisdom? No.
Okay, great. Anything about love? And
Please enjoy your Valentine's. Be with the people that you
Valentine's?
love. Valentine's. It's all about the Valentine's.
Let's go again.
Enjoy your Valentine's. Be with the people that you love. Treat them dearly. Let them know that they're loved and appreciated, because that's supposedly what that day's about. But just because you're a good person, and you should move on and keep doing that.
I like that. Dave, thank you so much for coming through. We could have spent so much more time.
Double this, really.
We could easily do double this. You are going to leave us with a fantastic bonus track as we transition from the pod. But
can I just say one thing? Because I know we're getting booted out.
Yeah.
But it's actually a real honour to do this, because I grew up listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
Like headphones in the Iowa radio, like in the dark, like listening to your show, bro. So like you had it's kind of like a full circle, like you influenced a big amount of my music taste growing up. So
thank you so much.
And obviously me and Joel.
We've
been in the trenches.
In the trenches.
Many decades. Well, no, a decade.
A decade.
Yeah. But so it's great to have been here and talk about, and hopefully we can.
I think we should do another one. I think we should. We will.
But I'm gonna finish up with I've gone for Can You Stand the Rain. Now there's there's New Edition and the Boyz II Men version. I once had a week-long debate with my agent and my brother about which version was better, and it kind of spilled onto the internet. It was kind of crazy. At one point, I think Emanike was involved. I don't know what. Actually, I don't know if he cared, but like, he was involved.
He was involved, yeah.
But yeah. So I've gone with the New Edition version because I love the production, and it's just it's an incredibly written song, incredible like drama to it. Love the video.
Let's do it.
Like, yeah, let's go.
Dave, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Make sure you check out, follow Dave, check out his music. And I said, get the girl, save the world. I dare you to only listen to it once, because you've got to pull that up and come again. We have been Love Thing London. From me, Swerve.
And me, Joel.
We are out.
Love.
Love.